Illuminati symbolism is arguably all around us. While one could argue that the symbols of the triangle, pyramid, or all-seeing eye are merely self-seeking paranoid illusions, it also begs the question why we see the same forms of imagery in corporate logos, films, and music videos. This article is attempting to explore the various symbols representing the cube, and why it's considered Illuminati symbolism. First, we must understand how the Illuminati operate. The Illuminati is an alleged group of the top elites who seek to control humanity through various avenues of control, for example media, film, music, etc. Without going too far in depth, the Illuminati holds occult beliefs that are hidden from the common man and woman. As to what these beliefs are, and perhaps why they hold these beliefs, there are various theories which I won't get into here. The occult beliefs of the Illuminati are believed by some theorists, like Freeman Fly, to be magical in nature. This is why the knowledge is kept secret from the masses, because they are the ones who want to be the sorcerers controlling everyone else's destiny. They employ symbols and various rituals in order to accomplish this. One such symbol is the cube. What's the harm in a symbol, you may ask? From The Secret Language of Symbols by David Fontana. Symbols and colors are the building blocks of all visual symbols and have been used since the dawn of man to represent divine energy. For example, the direct depiction of God is not allowed in several religions. Colors can be used to influence the mind, as is evident in foods that are colored differently from their natural version to make them more palatable, or even in sales marketing. Carl Jung was one of the forefathers of modern psychology and had a deep interest in colors. He believed there was a connection between alchemy and the psychology of the unconscious mind, most likely because of the ability of images to influence our internal thoughts. That same book goes into further detail on the most basic form of the cube, the square. This represents solidarity, a perfection that is static, earthly, and material. It suggests dependability, honesty, shelter, safety. As the most frequent shape in Hindu symbology, the mandalas with gates stands for order in the universe and the balance of opposites. The lineage of the Illuminati traces back to mystery schools of the East. The cube represents Earth and Pythagorean, Indian deities standing on cubes, Egyptian, pharaohs sitting on cube thrones, and Platonic traditions. It's even realized as a sacred symbol today by the Freemasons, believed to be Illuminati affiliated, when they stand on an oblong square, cube, during particular rituals to the worshipful master. The cube is the building block of all nature, and the five solids of the ancients labeled as the Pythagorean solids include a tetrahedron, pyramid, cube, octahedron, icosahedron, and dodecahedron. Another reason the cube is considered the building block of nature is because the ancient Greeks believed that the element of earth was comprised of cube-shaped particles, given their stability of the shape. There is also importance in the numerology, gematria, of the cube, as I allude to in my post on decoding Illuminati symbolism, triangles, pyramids and the sun. The three sides of a triangle represent the number 3, and this concept is used in gematria, the ancient Babylonian, Hebrew numerology practice that assigns numbers to words or letters. The number 3 is representative of the spirit realm, or the heavens, while in contrast, the number 4 represents the physical realm, the material, three-dimensional world we can relate to. Another analogy to consider is that the upright triangle points towards the heavens, while the inverted points to the earth, or hell if you want to get all fire and brimstone with it. As an example for the use of 3 and 4 in symbolism, we can take a look at the infamous square and compass of Freemasonry. Again, I'm using material from Marty Leeds, check him out. A triangle is Freemasonry symbolism for a representation of the higher power, the G and Grand Creator. The trowel used in Freemasonry symbolism is also triangular, while the 32nd degree initiates are symbolized with the triangle. The symbols can be explained as the duality of our purpose in life. The compass represents the spirit realm, or our soul, and this is purposefully drawn above the square to show its importance. The cube is merely the three-dimensional version of the four-sided square, which corresponds to the physical realm and material world, yet another link to the cube being the building block of nature, with nature being the material world. We can also logically see that the number 4 is represented in many forms of our established world. There are the 4 seasons, the elements, air, fire, earth, and water, signs of the zodiac, cardinal directions, and countless other places. The tetractys, or tetrad, is the triangular shape composed of 10 points which was a secret, mystical symbol to Pythagoras. It appears in various forms, one of which is arguably the Kabbalah. The 10 Sephirot of the Kabbalah correspond to the 10 points of the tetractys. If you take 7 of the 10 points to form a cube, you are left with 3 dots that represent the ethereal and visible nature of the world, while the 7 of the cube represent the material, three-dimensional world. Staying on the Kabbalah/mystical/ancient occult knowledge, we can also make a reasonable relation between Saturn and the cube. Black cube. The black cube is symbolic of Saturn because of occult beliefs in it, symbolizing the three-dimensional world we live in as a symbol for matter. One of the oddest things surrounding Saturn worship is the observance the NASA Voyager and Cassini missions made when they were taking photos of the poles of Saturn. There is an unexplained hexagon-shaped vortex storm on the North Pole of Saturn that you can see in the public domain. A hexagon is actually a flattened-out cube when viewed at it three-dimensionally, so I find it odd that the ancient occult practices somehow knew this and worshipped it before the photographs were taken. Johannes Kepler showed us Saturn's cubic traits in Mysterium Cosmographicum when he likened the planetary orbit to this shape, from the Hellenistic and Alexandrian influences on Johannes Kepler's work. Near the end of his life, Kepler states in his monumental work Harmonious Mundi his third law, namely the relation between the cube of the semi-major axis of the elliptical orbit for each planet, which stays always proportional to the square of the orbital period of the planet, something that holds for all the 6 planets, known at the age of Kepler, and was also confirmed to hold for the satellites of Jupiter and Saturn. Kepler states his amazement about this discovery, of fundamental physical character, only within a small passage within the text of the whole corpus of the Harmonious Mundi. The beast Aleister Crowley left a heritage of Thelema followers, and one of them was the Brotherhood of Saturn. This magical order was similar to the other occult groups, whether it be New Age, Freemasonry or Thelema. They all revolve around the idea of mastery of occult knowledge, for example axioms like as above, so below, which emphasize the duality aspects of man and world, in order to advance and evolve oneself in a series of steps and rituals. The Brotherhood of Saturn incorporates 33 steps to achieve the full spectrum of enlightenment, similar to Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, who also incorporates 33 degrees. The end of the path for a member of the Brotherhood of Saturn is self-deification, an important concept in Thelema and seen in the realm of music, with musicians making themselves godlike, for example Kanye West equals Jesus, Jay-Z equals Hova, Beyoncé equals Bessus, etc. The Brotherhood established Saturn as the planet of choice because the ancients would focus on polar opposites, and at the time they saw Saturn as the outermost planet, furthest from the light of the sun, effectively making it the dark side, hence the reason we see the black cube. The darkness is necessary in order for there to be light, as Stephen E. Flowers, Ph.D. points out in his book Lords of the Left-Hand Path. Saturnian teachings give primacy to darkness. Darkness is said to precede light and to provide a matrix for the manifestation of the light. Without darkness there is no light. The dualism of the FS does not seek to destroy one pole in favor of the other, but rather it seeks to go beyond the polarities through experience of both extremes. The book goes on to reveal that the zodiacal sign of Aquarius is ruled by the planetary force of Saturn. The age of Aquarius is important to the occult because it is the new age of man, or as Crowley defined it, the Aeon of Horus. The new age brings about one consciousness and the evolution of man into technology through transhumanism. This concept is threaded back to the ancients' quest for the Golden Age, as I've pointed out in the past. The background of Saturn worship goes back to 600 BC with Greek poet Hesiod's works and days, where he discusses the various ages of man. One of the ages was referred to as the Golden Age. The Golden Age was referenced in several prominent ancient cultures, similar to how the cultures would adopt each other's gods and rename them. The ancient Romans worshipped the god Saturnus, who was the god of agriculture and time, and his reign was known as the time of golden age of peace and harmony. The Greek god that was the same as Saturnus was Cronus, the youngest of the Titans. The Carthaginian god Baal, or Moloch, was the same god, and devoured children, similar to Cronus who ate children. Saturn is often depicted as Baphomet and associated with Satan as a devourer of children. Some theorists claim that the tree of knowledge fruit was actually a reference to babies being eaten. There is a belief that Cain actually ate Abel, and that is where the derivation of the word cannibal comes from. This concept of Satan, Saturn devouring children, is seen in many classic works of art with a devilish horn goat. In decoding Illuminati symbolism, triangles, pyramids and the sun, I explore a concept of the black sun in The Great Work. The Great Work is the journey to be godlike and make something out of nothing. It is initiated with the first step being the alchemical black sun. The black sun is the first stage in the achievement of enlightenment or immortality, which is accomplished through the Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone is known for making lead into gold, and the planetary association of Saturn to metal is lead. The planetary association with the sun is gold, so turning Saturn into the sun is the alchemical process of the Philosopher's Stone, based on metal transformation. Now here is where we start to meld everything together. The Illuminati are the older elites who will prey on the young, an analogy of the Baphomet devouring children. This allows the Illuminati to achieve their quest for the Golden Age by sacrificing the youth to the devil, aka the material world, aka Saturn, by making them pursue material goods and working a job in never-ending servitude based on the masses' desire for consumption. We see the Saturn symbolism all around us, including black school gowns worn at graduation with a square, think cube, mortarboard hat. The holiday of Saturnalia was established by the Romans, as discussed in the post on occult and Illuminati holiday traditions. The Saturnalia festival featured human sacrifices and ran from December 17th–23rd. There would be gladiator battles and the deaths would be considered more sacrifices to the deity Saturn. There were also concepts of role reversal, with masters feeding their slaves, still practiced today at work Christmas parties when the bosses feed the workers. The Romans also participated in a festival called Dies Natalis Solis Invicti, or Birthday of the Unconquered Sun, on December 25th. Sol Invictus was a Roman god of the sun, which could be yet another retelling of Nimrod in Semiramis. The depictions of Sol Invictus appear to mirror that of the Statue of Liberty, who was designed after the Roman goddess Libertas. Another website that covers various aspects of Saturn links it quite easily to Satan and Pan, a concept I cover in a separate post called Decoding Illuminati Symbolism, Moloch, Owls and the Horns of Satan. Here is an excerpt from HollywoodSubliminals.com. Saturn has also been associated with Satan, and this, for numerous reasons. First, many authors argue that the word Satan is derived from the word Saturn. Second, Saturn is associated with the color black as well as Satan. Third, ancients considered Saturn to be the farthest planet from the Sun, the latter being associated with the principle of good. Note that Pluto never was considered a planet. Saturn is consequently the celestial body that is the less exposed to the Sun's divine light and thus associated with the coldness of the principle of evil. Finally, the great god Pan, the horned deity, represented Saturn in ancient paganism. This half-man half-goat creature is considered the ancestor of our modern depictions of Satan. Pan was a composite creature, the upper part with the exception of his horns being human, and the lower part in the form of a goat. The pipes of Pan signify the natural harmony of the spheres, and the god himself is a symbol of Saturn because this planet is enthroned in Capricorn, whose emblem is a goat. Manly P. Hall, Secret Teachings of All Ages. So Pan was depicted with horns due to the fact it represented Saturn, the ruler of the house of Capricorn, which symbol is a goat. Pan was the controlling spirit of the lower worlds. He was portrayed roaming through the forests, penis erect, drunk and lascivious, frolicking with nymphs and piping his way through the wild. We might say he ruled the lower nature of man, its animal side, not unlike Satan. Despite acknowledging its association with evil, secret societies find the veneration of Saturn necessary to obtain illumination. It is the necessary counterpart of the principle of good. Masonic authors clearly associate Saturn with Satan. Before ending the vid, we would like to give credit to the writer of the article, Isaac Weishaupt. Anyways, anons, what do you all think? What are your interpretations? What are some examples of black cube symbolism you have seen? Let us know in the comments below.